Hi everyone, welcome back to the School of Calisthenics. Thank you for joining me today for this shoulder movement mobility flow. You don't really need any equipment other than perhaps a chair. I've got a box, if you've got a box, go for it, or a bench. And then besides that, have a yoga strap, bring that with you, or if you haven't got a yoga strap, maybe a resistance band or even a towel, okay? Doesn't need to be anything specific. And then if you're struggling to have anything to elevate your hands onto, if you do have some books or yoga blocks, they could also come in handy. But don't worry, if you haven't got any of that equipment at all, we'll still find ways to get into the positions that we're going to get into. So meet me in your space and let's get moving, and hopefully your shoulders will feel better for this. So we're going to start by working into the neck first, just loosening off any tension up top. And I want you to start by squeezing the fist. I'm just squeezing the fist and creating a bit of tension in the body. It's just going to help us focus on the area that we're trying to open up. So squeeze both hands, breathe in and out of your nose, and then I just want you to take your chin down to your chest. From there, take it across to one shoulder, and then really slowly we're going to open up through the throat. Take the chin to the other shoulder, and now all the way down to the center. And let's reverse it, go the other way. Take the chin over, open all the way up. And again, all the way across and up. Slower you go, you're going to feel a lot more going on. You're going to really find where those tight areas are and help work into them. One more each way. And back. To the start, release the hands. Okay, let's give the shoulders a roll forwards and a roll back. And then from here, I'm going to come up into a kneeling position. So we're going to work into the shoulder joint. If we start by kneeling, I'm going to take the hand the same side as my knee is bent. That's just going to make a fist. The other palm is open. And then from here, still breathing in and out of your nose, we're going to raise the arm up. Once we get to the sticky point and the bicep gets towards the ear, the idea here is that we don't compensate and arch the back. So we're going to pin the base of the ribcage down as we take the arm up, get to that point that we can't move it any further. And from here, we're now going to start to turn the thumb in. We're internally rotating that shoulder as we take it back. Keep turning it until you finish with the back of your hand on your hip, and then we'll reverse it and go back. So we take it back, get to that sticky point, and now we're going to externally rotate the shoulder really slow, bringing it up, forwards and down. Now your range of motion, if you're trying to go as high as I am at the minute, you might find you get to the sticky point and then you start to compensate a little to help. So instead of doing that, just take the arm further away and make that circle just a little bit easier. Over time, you can work on increasing that range and bringing the arm a bit more vertically up. So don't worry too much about that. When you get to the hip, take it back. Then we externally rotate. Same for here as well. If you can't physically rotate it back where I'm at the minute, take it a bit further out. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. We're just going to do one more back and forward. So up. Internal rotation as we take it back, really nice and slow, creating some space into the joint. Finish with the back of the hand on the hip and then reverse it, go back. Externally rotating that shoulder, bringing it forwards and down. So we've just done 3 on that side. You can do as many as you like. If you wanted to do a bit more, just pause. If you can keep this video, just pause it and repeat it. I'm going to go up. Internal rotation. Finish with the back of the hand on the hip. Take it back. That's one. Again, going up, bicep towards the ear or to where you can. Nice and slow. Noticing if one side feels a bit tighter than the other. And then once more, keep breathing in and out of the nose. Internally rotating that shoulder. And reverse. external rotation as we bring it up, forwards and down. So it's a great way to just check in with the joints and notice how the shoulders are feeling as well as the neck. So I would do that daily if possible. It's a nice, quick, simple mobility tool that you can use just when you're moving around the house in the morning. Okay, so from here we're just going to go onto all fours and start with the hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Have a little check in with the body. Always feels nice to just make some circles into the torso, so nice big circles working into the lateral side of the body as well, through the ribs, rounding out through the spine at the top, and at the bottom drawing the belly down into that extension of the spine. So just moving around, make those circles nice and slow, and then change direction. Let's go the other way. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. And then let's come to a neutral position. From here, just going into some general cat and cow. Great way to obviously build some heat into the spine and mobilize it. So from here, tuck your bum under first. We're going to work from the base of the spine all the way up. So tuck the bum, start to press out. Imagine you're pushing through one vertebra at a time as we work our way up to the top of the back. Once we're at the top, we're spreading the shoulder blades across away from each other, pulling the navel to the spine, and then gently tuck the chin. Then we're going to reverse that, and we'll start from the base of the spine again, but tilt the pelvis forwards, draw the belly down towards the mat. Coming into that spine extension, and through here now, what I'm going to do is open my chest through the shoulders and just lift the eyes ahead. I'm not throwing the head up to look up to the ceiling, I'm just letting the eyes lift forwards, drawing the belly down towards the ground, and also tucking my shoulder blades down into my back. Okay, again, so tuck the bum, curl all the way up. Nice and slow. Gently tuck the chin. And then from the base of the spine again, tilt the pelvis forwards, working the belly down towards the ground, opening the chest through the shoulders. And then the other thing you can do here is think about squeezing the heel of your hand from here and to the front of your knee. Imagine you're squeezing them together and just feel that extra tension you're creating, helping to just open up a little bit more. And then again, tuck the bum, curl all the way up, nice and slow. And from here, just release. We're going to take one hand into the center of the mat, or into your space, reach the other arm up, and that could be the elbow if it's too much to lift the whole arm up, so just do what feels good. We're going to thread this hand underneath the other, so the arm just literally threads through. We tuck the chin, take the head to the ground, and there's a few options in this position. So I can lift this top arm up, look up towards the thumb. The weight is on my shoulder, it's not on my neck. I'm pulling my belly in towards my spine and trying to keep the hips nice and level. I can also maybe extend one leg. And then my favourite option from here, for me personally, is to start to walk this top hand all the way up and overhead. While you're here, just keep breathing in and out of the nose. I always find this one particular just gets into area, into the mid upper back that I normally struggle to get to. Okay, and then let's bring it all the way back. We're going to press through this hand to lift the body up, coming back to tabletop. All right, and we'll do the same on the other side. So the other hand comes into the center, and then the opposite arm, either the elbow or the whole hand, is going to lift up. And now we're going to thread this top arm underneath the bottom arm. Taking the shoulder all the way through, tuck the chin. Okay, level the hips. And then from there you can lift the top arm, you can extend one leg, or we can walk that hand all the way overhead. Focus on your breath. Gentle inhales, gentle exhales. And then from here, let's bring that hand back in, press back up to your tabletop position. And now from here, just send your bum towards your heels. Let's take the knees nice and wide. We're going to work into the lateral trunk of the body, get into the lats. So reaching the arms out ahead first. Doesn't matter which side you go to, we're just going to start to walk the hands around as far as we can. Keep the body nice and close to the ground. And then once you get to that point that you can't really go any further, you might even want to hold on to one wrist and just help to anchor yourself into this one a bit more. Whilst I'm here, I'm pressing my bum back to my heels. And you're going to feel this all the way through the side of the body, all the way down into the outer hip. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. So this is a nice one just to get into the lats. And if our lats are feeling super tight, this can really affect the function of range of motion that we can produce at the shoulder. For example, if it was a front rack position on a bar, or taking the arms overhead for handstand. If we get super tight in the lats, this can make those positions really tough to achieve. This is just a basic way to get into the lats whilst we're down on the ground. There are obviously lots of other ways that we can do it, with the use of bands and mobility balls, for example. Okay, we're going to go around to the other side, walk them around. Going as far around as you can, pressing the bum back towards the heels, maybe anchoring yourself in a bit more by taking hold of one wrist. And then let's walk the hands back to the center. So from here, let's come up, back onto all fours. Give the wrists a little bit of a stretch. I always like to hook the toes at the same time as doing this, because it gets into the feet as well. So we're going to go fingertips towards the knees, press the heels and hands away, tuck the toes under so you're getting good stretch into the sole of the foot. And then from here, let's just make some circles. Just do 3 circles going one way and then 3 the other. The further away you take your hands from the body, the more intense it's going to feel. So if your wrists are feeling super tight, bring them closer. If you want a bit more, take them a bit further away. And then release the hands there. We'll go on to the backs of the hands, and then from there we're just going to turn the armpit of the elbow forwards, and this will help the arm extend. And you can do both together here, just gentle rocks back and forth. With this one again, I can start to take the hands a bit further away if I want a little bit more. But if it's feeling a bit too intense, keep them nice and close to your body. And then just release from there. You can unhook the toes as well. And we'll just take the wrists through some circles. Just a few circles going one way and a few the other. And then let's come back onto all fours. We're going to extend one leg back, turn the foot to the inner edge, and then reach the same arm as that side up and over, just into a bit of a lateral opener again. It can feel nice to reach the arm overhead or even bend the elbow, drawing the arm behind the head. Bring that arm down, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Extend the other leg back, turn to the inner edge of that foot, reach the same arm as that side up and over. Nice long swoop all the way overhead, breathe in and out of the nose, maybe bend that arm. And then let's take it all the way down. From here, we're going into a downward dog. Downward dog is great to get into the flexion at the shoulder. So we're going to hook the toes. Hands are shoulder width, feet are hip width. I'm going to grip the ground with the fingers so that we're not pushing the hand flat into the mat. And then from here, pulling the belly button towards the spine, lift the hips. You can keep the legs nice and bent. Okay, we're focusing on the shoulders as well. So if you've got the legs extended but you're tight and you're then rounding through your back, I want you to just bend your knees and take your chest through towards, or your belly through towards your thighs a bit more. Think about wrapping the shoulders across the back, and then pin the lower rib cage in and down so it's not kind of slumping down towards the thighs. Breathe in and out of the nose, and then you just kind of like wiggle side to side if that feels good. Move around in this as much as you like, in any way that feels good for your body right now. But what we have done is we've created that nice opening into the shoulder. We've got a nice flat back. And if you're struggling with that, it's more than likely you're forcing your legs too straight at the moment and then putting too much load into the shoulders. So if it feels good, you can obviously start to extend the legs a little bit more. Don't worry if the heels don't touch the floor. Just because mine do doesn't mean that yours need to, okay? So from here, we're going to walk the feet to the hands, nice and slow. And then take a breath in through the nose, lift the eyes up. As you exhale, let's fold, bend the legs, let the head hang. From there, just take hold of your elbows and then gently ragdoll the body. Just loosen off any tension into the upper back and neck. We're going to curl up from here, nice and slow. Come all the way up to standing. And then let's reach the arms all the way up and overhead. With the arms reaching all the way up, pull the lower belly in, and we're just going to take a little side bend to one side, pressing down through both feet. Bring the body all the way up to the center and then reach across. All the way up. Bring the hands into the fingers. Draw and roll the shoulders back, bringing the hands behind. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, when you're ready, we're going to fold. You can bend the legs, take the chest down, lift the arms up and over. See if you can press the palms together, and this might be where you need a yoga strap or a towel or your resistance band. So I'm just going to show you with the band. Take hold of it behind your back, palms facing your bum. Bend the legs, taking the arms up and over. It's going to allow me a bit more space now that I can get a bit deeper into the shoulders. So obviously if you don't feel you need to use that as that prop to help, you can just keep the palms together, fingers interlaced. If you want to feel more into the back of the body as well, you can start to lift the hips, but just make sure that you're not then compensating and rounding through the back. Think belly button to, or belly to the thighs, compression. Okay, bend the legs, bringing the arms forwards, reach them up. Pressing the hands up to the ceiling. I'm going to go for that side bend again. Reach across to one side, push through the feet, pull the belly in, and reach across to the other side. All the way up. And then again, let's go, hands behind the back. Interlace the hand, interlace the fingers, press the palms together, open the chest, fold down. Might feel nice to kind of move around a little bit here as well. And then let's bend the legs, bringing the arms up, reaching up. And then this time we're going to fold down, bring the hands down to the ground, bend the legs, lift the eyes, and then from there, step to a plank. Lower your knees back into your tabletop position. Just wiggle about side to side. Might feel nice to just go back into the lats once more. So if we take the bum to the heels, walk the hands out, to walk them around. And then walk them around to the other side. And then bring yourself up into a kneeling position. So we're going to come onto our bum from here. You can cross your ankles and sit onto your bum, or sit to one side, swing them around. And then from here, in fact, I'm going to spin around because I'm going to use this box in a minute. So we're going to have fingertips pointing behind us. Roll the shoulders back and open the chest. Think about pinning the belly button towards the spine. And as I keep saying, breathing in and out of the nose. Okay, take a breath in. On your next exhale, we're going to start to lift the hips. But as we lift them, we're tucking the bum under, so we're engaging the glutes, and then lifting the hips from here. Once it gets to this position, roll the shoulders back, open the chest. And then if this is too much, you don't have to hold it there for too long, you can just come back down again. Rolling the shoulders back and open is important. You're going to feel the chest open and release that tension. You're also going to feel this quite a bit into the triceps. You're going to be getting strong whilst doing this one, guys, as well. So it's not just a stretch, it's more active. Okay, and then this is a great progression as well to work towards your bridge and just general mobility working towards that bridge position. So I'm going to roll back, tuck the bum, lift the hips. And a lot of the time what you see in this position is arching the back or the knees flaring out. So I want you to really tuck the bum under, and notice my hips aren't even lifted quite that high right now. I'm pushing through the feet, but now as I open the chest, I've now elevated up a bit more, but without forcing any sort of hyperextension to the lower back, okay? Keep breathing, keep opening those shoulders, and then back down again. You might find at the minute that you can only go maybe as high as this for now. Just keep thinking about opening the shoulders and the chest, and then lowering in and out of it. Don't worry if you're not as high as I am right yet, just now, okay? Breathe in and out of the nose, and then on your next one again, roll them back, tuck the bum, lift the hips, and open, and then lower. So on the next one, we're just gonna add a little bit more of a challenge by starting to lift one arm up. Take it back a stage if that's too much, and just stick with the one we've just done. So on this next one, shoulders roll back, tuck the bum, elevate the hips. And now maybe I can start to take one arm all the way up and overhead and back down. The other arm all the way up and overhead. Still squeezing my glutes, and then rest. Again, have a little breather in between. And we're just going to do 3 more lots. I'm going to give you some of the variations as we go on. So on the next one, we'll do the same as the last one. We're going to tuck the bum, elevate the hips, roll the shoulders back, open the chest, elevate one arm, and back down. And the other. And then lower. Okay, so on the next one, we're going to add a variation of actually circling that arm all the way around. So I'm going to lift the hips, taking the arm up and off, big circle, there's my plan, take it down, and then the other one, overhead, and then lower. Have a little breather. Again, don't force these ones, guys, you can take it back if you need to. So the next one, I'm going to start to elevate and bridge the hips a little bit more, and this is obviously a little bit more relative to actual bridge. So I'm going to lift the hips, open and roll the shoulders back, and then my hips are going to come up higher as I start to externally rotate the shoulder, lift the top arm up and over. So there's more of an extension now in my spine. And then take it back down. Same on the other side. Lifting up, taking it up and over. Still engaging the legs, still engaging the glutes. Rolling this bottom shoulder open. And then back down. Let's go again, lifting up. One more the other side, and up. And back down. And then from here, with the hands behind, roll the shoulders back, puff the chest out, start to take the bum away. Really taking those shoulders into a deep extension. While I'm here, if you're like slumping down like this right now, ease it back a bit, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and open the chest. And then maybe see if you can still access that range. If you're getting pain in the elbows, you need to ease off and go back. The other option as well, you might have found you can't get your little fingers to touch, that's okay, just go a little bit wider with the hands. You can also straighten your legs out. Obviously I can't do that right now. And then let's release. Okay, so a lot of work into our shoulder extension there. We're going to go into shoulder flexion using the box or your bench or your table or your chair, whichever. You can also do this one on the wall as well. You just need to elevate the hands. So I'm going to start with my palms down, shoulder width. Take a breath in through the nose. My knees are under my hips. And then when you're ready, we're just going to start to take the head through. As I draw the head through, I don't want to just let my belly collapse towards the ground, so I'm going to lock the lower ribs in, looking directly at the floor. You can kind of wiggle about in it as well. Just breathe in and out of the nose. We'll stay here for a little bit of time. And obviously you can identify that this position is going to be relative to prepping for your handstands as well. Keep breathing. Keep locking those lower ribs in. I want you to notice now how are your knees in the right position? If your knees are too far forward, you won't really feel a great deal going on. So I want you to take them back, more under the hips or even a little bit further back, and you should feel that open up a lot more. Okay, and then from there, let's bring the body up. Give the shoulders a little bit of a shake out. Might feel quite intense. And then we're going to do another variation as well. In fact, I might show you two variations. There's one where we're onto the elbows, and we're just going to cross the hands over behind us onto the shoulders. Okay, so I'm going to take my elbows onto the platform, and then take my head through the gap, cross my hands over onto the backs of my shoulders. Not sink into it, I'm going to lock the lower ribs in and down, taking the head through. Breathe in and out the nose, and then on this one, you're welcome to go through those two positions if they feel good. So you can draw the belly down, sinking the ribcage down a little bit more, and then draw the belly in. Do it more dynamically like that if you like. Otherwise, just pin yourself into this position. Maybe wiggle about a little. And you'll get this into the lats as well, obviously. Keep breathing. Just a little bit longer. These positions as well, super important for those of you working towards your bridges. Being able to get more comfortable in these shapes will help to condition those movements too. Okay, and then we're going to release. Bring the body up. Give the shoulders a little roll, forwards or back. And the next one, I'm just going to grab my wooden dowel. So if you've got like a dowel or a sort of PVC pipe, if you're in the gym, which you won't be, anything that you can use to hold, this is going to help set my shoulders into external rotation. So I'm going to take my elbows back onto the box, hold on to whatever that is, and then take the head through. Keep breathing, lock the lower ribs in. I can also move my arms back and forth a little. I'm nicely feeling that into the triceps right now as well, into the lats. Just stay here for a few more breaths. Okay, and then let's release, bring ourselves up. We go back to that first one. You can take the hands a bit wider this time, palms down, take the head through. And then let's release the hands down to the floor. Give the shoulders a roll, forwards, and back. Okay, from here, let's go back into that downward dog and just see how the shoulder flexion with the arms overhead feels. So from your tabletop, hook your toes, lift your hips, walk through the feet, wrap the shoulders, pull the lower belly in and down. Obviously bend your knees as much as you need to, and just notice how that feels, wiggle about. We're going to add a bit of a twist from here. So obviously keep the legs bent as well, and the lower you reach your hand down the leg, the harder it's going to feel. So I just want you to lift your hand a bit higher if you need to. You'll see what I mean now. So I'm going to reach one arm through towards the opposite leg. So I can be somewhere up here and just gently anchor the chest through, or bring it down to the calf or even the ankle. Open the chest through, looking underneath. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. Again, don't worry if your heels aren't down. Let's release and do the same on the other side, reaching across the opposite leg. Keep pinning the lower belly in. And then release. From here, let's walk the feet to the hands. Up to the top of the mat. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, fold down, hold the elbows, let the head hang. loosen off the shoulders. Curl up through the spine. Let's go for a nice big reach up, extending the arms overhead. Pin the lower belly in, and then take the hands behind your body again. Open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades back together. Add that fold in. We can bend the legs, taking the arms up and over. Lift the hips if you want a bit more. Obviously hold on to your yoga strap or your band in this one. And then let's go back up overhead, just the once, reaching up. Fold on the way down, take the hands to the ground. And then from here, we'll step back, lower back into our tabletop position. We're going to sit onto our bum from here. I'm going to show you from the back just so you can see what the arms are doing. You might need a strap or a band for this one. So I'm just going to sit down. And then from here, take one arm up and overhead. The options are to hold the elbow and just gently add a bit of tension down onto that elbow. And then from there, I can lean across to one side as well. Another great way to just get into the lats here. Okay, the other option is, if you can reach, you can obviously hold your hands together. Make sure they're not all twisted in the body. So pin the lower belly in, sit up nice and tall, then maybe add that side bend. If you can't reach, hold your band, and you can pull a bit of tension that way. Okay, so just keep breathing in and out of the nose. Maybe add that little side bend from there. Keep the hips pressed, or keep the bum cheeks pressed down into the mat. And then let's release and come up, and we'll do the same on the other side. So options, take the arm over, add a bit of tension down onto the elbow, press the bum cheeks into the floor, and then add that little slight lateral bend. And then obviously your option is to hold the hands behind you. Take breaths in and out of the nose, and then add that reach. Nice one for the triceps and the lats. Okay, and then let's release the arms from there. So let's just do a few sort of seated twists and shoulder rolls from here, and then we're going to finish with just a bit of a chest stretch as an opener. So from your seated position, just make sure your bum is grounded. If you need to sit on a cushion or a yoga block, then pop that just under your bum, and that may help. All we're going to do is start with some twists. Take one hand behind you, just behind your bum, and then the other hand onto the opposite knee in front. Take a breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, we're going to let the chest lead and start to look back, adding a bit of a twist. Gently pin the navel to the spine. Okay, come back to the center, and then we'll do the same the other side. Keep sitting up nice and tall. The hand that's behind you is really quite close to your bum as well. Quite close to your lower back. And then come back to the center. Let's take one hand out to the side. The opposite arm is going to reach up and across. And then this bottom elbow can start to bend, drawing its way down towards the mat. The top arm, I always feel it's quite nice if you just let that hand drop behind your head as well, so the elbow's bent here. And this one you want to feel all the way through the side body down into the outer hip as well. Come all the way up, and let's do the same on the other side. Bend into this bottom arm, press both bum cheeks into the ground. Don't let this one start trying to lift up, push it down. And then let's release. Might feel nice to just make some rolls into the trunk of the body. Rolls the other way. And then let's roll the shoulders forwards and back. Okay, this last one that we're going to do, we're going to lie down onto our stomachs. So I'm trying to kick the box. I'm going to lie down. And then from here, take the elbow out in line with the shoulder and the palm down. You've got some other options for this arm. You can also take it out extended and try some different angles relative to where you're feeling tight into the shoulders, into the front of the shoulder. I quite like this one where my arm's at a 90-degree angle. So have a little play with it and see what works for you. The other hand is going to help assist me across. So I'm going to be looking away from you now, take my ear towards the ground, press with this opposite hand, and now my back leg can start to lead over behind. That might feel too intense for you to begin with, so you don't have to be able to get your foot to the floor. Just add that little bit of a push with this opposite hand. Take the ear down towards the mat. Those of you that are a bit more open and can get a bit more into it, as you open up, press the foot into the ground, opening the knee up towards the ceiling. Breathe in and out of the nose. Okay, so you can stay where you are, or obviously I can have a little play with where my arm is. I can extend the arm a bit higher. Or I can bring it lower down. Okay, let's go to the other side. Again, you can spend longer in this one if you need to. So take the arm into the position you want to start in. Ear towards the mat. Let the back leg lead. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. Maybe change the position of that arm again. And then from there, bring yourself onto your front. I'm going to press up into a bit of an upward dog. Engage the tops of your legs. And then from there, ground the knees, take the bum back towards the heels, forehead down, maybe go for another little side stretch. Bring the body up. Give the shoulders a roll again. Hunch them all the way up and then drop them down. And again, inhale, hunch them up. Drop them down just to release any tension, and again. And release. Thank you so much for joining me again today, guys. I hope you found that flow for your shoulders has been useful. You can use it maybe on a recovery or mobility day, or if you just need to get the shoulders open, maybe before a session. You might have to skip to sections of that flow, otherwise it might be a bit long, you won't have time to train. So hopefully you find it useful anyway, guys. Love to know how you found it. Until then, I shall see you soon, and class dismissed.